And we are live. I mean, I hope that we're live because this is the first time. But there's a first time for everything, as they all say. So welcome to this week's lecture, which will be the first lecture. And this week's lecture is a crucial lecture for men and women. The first part would be more towards women in general, but the second part would be more towards men. Now, do I just get straight into it? Because let me just get straight into it. I don't want to yap too much. Let's just get straight to the presentation. So, this will be the first lecture of many lectures, hopefully, inshallah. But this first lecture will attack, and it's a very, some people would say taboo, some people would say that it is normal to have those kinds of conversations, but, wait a second, technical difficulty, my fault. So, the first thing is about the rise of the number of women that do OnlyFans in the world, especially in countries like the United States, Canada, Australia, United Kingdom, France, basically the countries where technology is super advanced, and not only that, but when it comes to how do I say this? Again, I'm not trying to be politically correct. I don't care about that. Countries where women are seen in a certain way. Let's just say that. In those types of countries where women are free to do anything that they want, literally anything that they want, to the point where there's no consequence to their actions. But again, I don't want to go too deep into this. I don't want to accuse and start pointing fingers. I'm not that guy. So the first thing, and I said I put including OnlyFans because OnlyFans is the major, or you could say the first online platform that became popular when it came to women selling videos or photos of themselves for money online. Of themselves naked, obviously. And so yeah, that's the first topic. And just to be clear also, sex work is going to be including everything in sex work. When I say everything, I mean it. It's not just OnlyFans. So that's the small detail. Now, the second point, like I said, one point will be more towards women and the second point will be more towards men. But again, this is inclusive to everyone because there are women and men that do sex work. And getting to the second point, masturbation, the effects of it on your brain and to your body. And I included, but again, it goes hand to hand, masturbation and porn. It goes together. And so the reason why I've put those two topics together is because it's very close to each other, right? Sex work, masturbation, porn, it's very close. So those are going to be the two topics of today. Only two, because again, these points need to be broken down very, very clearly so that people can understand not only what I mean, but the effects of it. So let's get into it. The first thing, what is sex work? Because I say sex work, a lot of people think of prostitution. That's what they think. They might think of OnlyFans, right? The woman today online posting themselves naked. That's what people think of. But now it actually goes further. Believe it or not, it goes further. And I've made sure that I included everything. everything. If I miss something, please message me to my email or to my X account. First thing, stripping. Stripping is a form of sex work. It is. And if you ask the strippers themselves, they would admit that. They would say, I am doing sex work, because you are basically 98% naked, dancing in front of a man. I mean, sometimes woman, but again, the point is that it is for the opposite sex, and they are paying you for you to dance 98% naked. And by the way, that 98% naked is very crucial, because it wouldn't be stripping and nobody would go to strip clubs if the women dancing on the poles were covered head to toe. Imagine a strip club where it is a bunch of women wearing the hijab. Not only the hijab, the niqab as well. Imagine a woman fully veiled and covered, fully, and dancing on a pole. Nobody would go to that nobody would go to such place. Why is that? Because it defies the purpose of it. So that's really important. It is considered sex work because you have to be majorly, that's not a word. You have to be basically the majority of your body needs to be naked. It needs to be showed to the public, to the men that are giving you the money. Okay. Now, second thing, again, I say, don't assume that I know, that I was involved directly into those things. I say, because this is something that is used by quite a few women that I've talked to and had discussion with that have been in those industries, done those jobs, and they consider themselves escorts. They say, I am an escort, or I am an escort for the elite companionship. And that's the reason why I put elite companionship or luxury escort. That's what they say usually. Now, for the people that don't know what it is, well, really, I'm just going to say it. They are prostitutes. That's it. They are prostitutes. Oh, well, what is the difference then between escorts and normal prostitutes? The only difference is, I mean, that's what they would say. And again, this is what I truly believe as well. It's that they have more of a tendency to market themselves as a girlfriend and at a higher price, really. That's really it. I'm not going to overcomplicate it because that's really it. It's just them doing a better marketing of themselves online, putting themselves as a luxury brand, and they literally say sometimes or most of the time luxury escort. And again, for the people that are thinking, whoa, Daki, how do you know so much about this? Are you personally involved in it? Alhamdulillah, I'm not. But the reason why is because I've done research. And only that, I have talked to women that have done these jobs and obviously regretted it hugely, but I've had discussions with women in those fields. And so that's how I know, if you wonder. So, yeah, I put in my presentation just to make sure that you understand that they are basically the same as prostitutes, but they just don't want to admit that they are prostitutes, and they want to put this label on themselves that sounds nicer to the people. So they don't think to themselves each and every single day that they wake up and work and say to themselves, oh, I'm a prostitute. No, they want to put this nice image to their head so that they can move on and actually do their work on the daily basis and make more money in a sense because they put their price at a higher standard, at a higher level, because they consider themselves as luxury escorts. Next, sugar babies. I mean, I'm sure that everybody heard what sugar babies are, sugar daddies are. So to the people that don't know, I'm going to explain. Sugar babies, it's basically prostitute without the sex aspect. So it is not obligatory. Yes, sometimes being a sugar baby, a woman that becomes the sugar baby of a man, of a sugar daddy, sometimes there is sex that is involved in the contract. I don't even know how it works. Do they sign something, or I don't know. But in the transaction, she, the woman, the sugar baby, sometimes gives sex, but it is not clearly, or you could say the majority of the time, it is not always given by the woman. Sometimes they are just being paid to hang out, to just spend some time with the man. The man pays by the hour or by the day or by the night or by the morning. And then the woman spends a certain time by being their girlfriend or their good friend or their companionship or their companion, basically. That's what I meant. And so, again, it can include sex, but not always. So that's the reason why I've made a separation between sugar babies and prostitutes. So that's something that needs to be understood very clearly, very clearly. Next, prostitute. Well, I don't need to explain further. A prostitute, a woman that sells her body for a certain time for sex. And of course, she can have her own boundaries. But again, it's not like it does much when it comes to explaining or to, how do you say this? To validate the job of prostitution. It doesn't. Even though you can set your own morals and your own standards and say to the clients, please, no roughness, no violence. But again, in this type of work that you do, you cannot expect kind treatment, because the people that you deal with are disgusting people, are disgusting men. So prostitute, again, going back to the point, is a woman that sells her body for a certain time, most of the time for sex, for penetration, and other things. I won't go into the details because that's irrelevant. Phone sex. This is something that is, from my knowledge, not as prevalent anymore in today's age. At least where I am from, it's not prevalent anymore. But the reason why I mention this is because even though it is not common anymore, it is still a thing. It is. Believe it or not, it is. I've done my research and I've came across it, and I've read multiple forums of women in today's age that actually do this job. I don't know from where specifically, but this job actually still exists. And for the people that don't know what it is basically, if you used to remember, again, the youngsters, they're not going to understand, but in the paper journals, not the one that you go on your phone and click on the app, no, the paper journals, there used to be a section at the end where there was a bunch of ads or commercials, you could say, with a phone number, and multiple ones on the same page. And then one of those commercials would be a commercial for phone sex, where people could call to a person, to a woman, basically, for a certain time, and you would have, I guess, sexual conversations, and then you could talk about anything that you want. And then I guess this would arouse the men that call these women. Again, you find it weird, don't blame me. I'm just the messenger. I'm just the one that's spreading what's happening in the world. That's it. Don't blame me. So that's what it is. So there would be women working in those call centers, I guess, that would take the calls and that would just talk to the men and just say sexual things for a certain time and get money this way. And again, and this is one thing that I've wondered, how do they collect the money? I mean, I have no clue how they do this. Like, because you're calling, right? Imagine you're calling. Do, 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 do. Ring. Hello, this is Vanessa. What can I do for you? I would like 10 minutes. You know, because these guys are just, you know, they only need a short time to do what they want, right? To get aroused. So how much is it? Oh, yeah, it would be $2,000. I don't know what's the price. 2,000 US dollars, please. Oh, okay. But like, how do you pay? Do you give your credit card information? Because I don't see any other way how they can charge you. How do you do this? Do you literally just... I have no clue. Anyway, adult actresses or adult actors in general, of course, they have to be included. This is the main, I mean, prostitutes, when you think of sex work, prostitutes and actors, actresses are the main ones. They're the main ones that we think about on a daily basis. And so I think this is something that I want to make it very clear. These adult actresses, sadly, a lot of them are being pressured into it. And when I say pressured, I don't mean in the sense of, oh, let me grab a woman on the street as a, let's say I'm a man and I want to start a porn company or to make porn videos. I go through the street and I grab a woman and then I put her in the van and then I make her film porn videos. No. When I say forced, a lot of these women, for example, whether it is for financial reasons, whether it is for fun, even for fun, they are being forced, or more like, I would say, convinced and persuaded to get into this industry. And heavily, harshly, not in a slight manner for most of them. And that is a big, big, big issue, because the money that is being made in this industry is indeed very tempting to these women. And only to the women, to a lot of men, sadly. It is very tempting. So this is an issue. But again, I'll explain this after. Selling videos and pictures of yourself naked on sites like Onlyfans or Fansly. Those are the only two that I've came across. So this is the other one. And again, I don't need to go into it. It's very self-explanatory. Now, why do a lot of women do this? And this is a very important point, because we need to understand first, what is the reason that is pushing these women to want to get into sex work in the first place? Because you can make the argument easily by saying, oh, these women are being forced, they're being trafficked. Again, I'm not saying that there's not any women that are being trafficked and being forced to do these types of work. But 100% of these women are not being kidnapped are not being kidnapped and forced. That's not true. Actually, a big majority of these women are doing it from their own desire. Now, you could say and argue that some of them are doing it because of financial pressures, because they need to make money, they have children. I understand. But it is still their own decision that they are making to get into this industry, to do sex work. Nobody is putting a gun to their head saying, hey, Vanessa, you need to be a stripper. No. So, again, I just want to put my notes clearly so that it's not a mess. So, the first reason, let's get into it. The possible reasons. Number one, fun. Like I said before, fun is actually I don't want to say a viable reason, but it is a possible reason for a woman to get into the industry. And the reason why I know this is because I've read actually forums of previous porn stars, or no, even present porn stars, women that film adult videos, that have said this. Oh, I've done it purely because I find it fun to have sex on camera. So this is a viable reason. Again, viable is, it's not the complete right word to use, but it is a possibility. Number two, possible monetary gain. The reason why I've put possible and not just monetary gain, it's because it is not guaranteed. And this is something that I want to emphasize a lot to make sure that women understand. And again, I'm going to go further into the monetary aspect of sex work later. But the reason why I put possible, it is because you need to understand that it is not guaranteed. It is not. And now people are going to say, huh? What do you mean by that? What I mean is, there are multiple women, multiple forms that have been written by women that have been not porn stars, but that have filmed adult videos and that have done it when they were young. For example, when they were in school, so that they can get just some side money. They didn't want to do it as a career, but they wanted to do it just as a side job to get some extra income so that they can pay their bills. And a lot of these women, guess what? They've said that the men, or the producers, you could say, that have hired them to do this job didn't pay them after. That's scary. That's some scary stuff. So you do the job that you do something that you don't even want to do, but you do it for monetary reasons so that you can pay your bills. And at the end, after doing it, they don't even pay you. So that's the reason why I say possible, because it is not guaranteed at all. I mean, when you talk about even stripping, anything in life, anything in sex work, you are dealing with people that are disgusting. Simply put, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. You are dealing with clients, you are dealing with people that you work for that are all disgusting, that all deal with dirty habits on a daily basis. And when I say dirty, I don't mean in the hygienic sense. I mean in the literal sense as a human, the way you speak to each other, the things that you talk about, the people that you deal with. And so, and the thoughts, most importantly, and the values that these people have. These people don't have strong values. They don't. They just think about sex. And the fact that, just think about it, these clients that you're dealing with on a daily basis, how did they come across you? Let's say you're a prostitute. Let's say you are an escort. Let's say you are a stripper. How did they come across you? 99.9% of the time, or I would actually say 100% of the time. How did they come across you? They went online, whether it is specifically searching for a strip club or a certain escort site to spend 1 hour with a certain woman. They've specifically at a time decided to go online, search for escorts so that they can have sex and fulfill whatever disgusting sexual fantasies that they have. And again, it's most of the time it's, just sex, but it can get way deeper than this. A lot of women have said this. Clients demand disgusting things, whether it is things with feces and urination or whatever it is. Urinating, sorry, my vocabulary is not the best. But these things are disgusting. And so you are dealing with people with disgusting thoughts, people that have no strong morals and values. And so what do you expect? So that's the first thing. Now, coming back to the possible reasons. Third point, attention and fame. Obviously, this applies more to women that do Onlyfans and that are escorts. I don't think that there's, So escorts and or prostitutes that market themselves heavily online. And no, I remove the prostitutes, even if they market themselves online. The reason why I say this is because actually a big majority of prostitutes online hide their faces and don't want themselves to be shown because they want privacy. So they don't want attention or fame. So I exclude them for this point, but the women that do OnlyFans and the women that are escorts, luxury escorts, these women do it, some of them, or a big group of them, do it for attention and fame. And again, you need to be rational. You need to be honest with yourself. And this is addressing the women heavily, especially to the women that are currently doing it or that are thinking of doing it. Be honest to yourself. And again, I know that some women don't want to admit it when it comes to attention and fame. Monetary gain, they admit it. Fun, yeah, they openly say it. But when it comes to attention and fame, there's this, they try really hard to be humble when it comes to not admitting that they're doing this for attention. Again, fame is a reach, but attention is one. Attention is a better word than fame in this situation that we're talking about here. Attention is something that a lot of people seek without knowing. So unconsciously, or in the back of their mind, they're doing it for attention. But initially, they don't think actively, oh, I'm going to do this for fame, or I'm going to do this to get attention from people. And this applies to actually many of the things, not just sex work specifically. A lot of people do certain things subconsciously, if I said it right, so they can get attention, but they don't realize it in the moment. And so if you truly reflect, and please take the time to truly understand part of the reason why, not just for sex work, but you do anything in life, is there actually a part of it that you're doing it because you want to get the attention of whether it is your friends, the men, the women, your teacher, the coach, that specific person that you saw from far, that you find handsome, that you find this woman that you found beautiful? Are you doing it partly or completely for attention, to get whether it is everybody's attention or the attention of someone in specific, excluding yourself, obviously, because some people are going to say, I'm doing it for myself. Look, it's nice when you say it. I'm just doing it for myself because I care about myself. I don't care about the judgment of other people. Look, it sounds nice on paper, but look, let's be honest. We're humans. A lot of the time we do things because we want to get the approval or the attention of somebody. Not always, but a lot of the time that can be part of the reason. Now, next. Oh yeah, what did I put here? I don't know why I put a square. You know, sometimes I have short-term memory, genuinely. Also, as you can see, I've stopped here. There's 3 points that you can see clearly. 3. And I haven't gone further for a particular reason that I haven't gone further. It's because those are the only possible reasons. There's not any other. I mean, just think about this very clearly. For what other reason would a woman go into sex work besides those 3 points? There's none. There is not a single reason that you can give that is actually true where women would want to do sex work. Even the most passionate of the most passionate, deluded women in the world, that let's say she grew up wanting to be a prostitute, wanting to be a adult actress, even that kind of woman would not do this type of work for other than these 3 reasons that I've just put on the screen. Impossible. If you do find another reason, please email me and please message me. I'm not the type of person that is standing on my ivory tower and just saying to people, listen to me. No, I'm extremely open. Please, if you do find another reason, I would love to hear about any of the other points that you might think there could be. So please message me in the description to find my email. So yeah, those are the only pros, the only ones. Now, okay. I just realized that I didn't want to put this in the first time. I thought to myself, do I put this? Yeah, I'm going to put it. So, statistics, and this is something I want to get to, which is really important, right? Statistics about the number of users on Onlyfans. And the reason why I named these statistics again is because I want to make it clear to the women that are thinking of maybe doing it for whatever reasons that it is, between the 3 reasons that I named before. If you have a certain inkling or even 0.0001% of your brain saying, it could be a possibility for me to do OnlyFans so that I want to make some money. Now that's where I elaborate more about the monetary gain part. And this is the reason why, just before I give you the statistics, I said, or actually, I will say this, those statistics that I will say and put on the screen are statistics that I have put out or pulled out of my ass. Yes, I've said this. Those are statistics that I have pulled out. I don't know why my eyes are suddenly closing and opening, but that I have pulled out of my posterior. So do not take those statistics true. Whatever that I say next are for comedic purposes and are not true at all. So please do not sue me. So let's get to it. There are 305, and this was for a certain year, but I'm not going to mention the year. But there are 305 million, estimate again, users on OnlyFans. 4.5 million of those 305 million users are creators, meaning 4.5 million of them are selling their products, selling videos and pictures on this platform. And the rest of it are just users, people that buy the product. And so this is a representation of 1.5%. Now, let's get into the money, which is what a lot of people want to hear. There is an estimate that around 16,000 out of the 4.5 million creators, out of this number, only 16,000 around earned more than $50,000 yearly in a year. 50,000 in a year. That's not per month. That's not per day. That is per year. And some people might say, "Oh, that's great. That's more than my job, than what I'm making at McDonald's." Okay. Let's get into the next step. We're talking about $1 million? Yes. Around 300, again, out of 4.5 million creators, 300 around, made more than $1 million in a year. Oh my God. Oh, this is tempting now. You're tempting me, Daki. Okay. The average OnlyFans creator makes between $150 to $180 a month. That is the average. Now, when I say average, I need to explain because some people are not really good with mathematics. What does average mean? If I say a number and I say that this number is the average of something, what does that mean, being the average? The average means, you could also say the median. I think that's the right term in mathematics. But it means that 50% of the people on OnlyFans make above $150 to $180 a month. And 50%, the other 50%, makes less than $150 to $180 a month. Now, when I say this way, people think, "Oh, whoa, so 50%, half of the people make more than $150 to $180 a month? Wow, I should get into OnlyFans. Wait, I can't wait to take a picture of my bumhole." Hold on now. Hold on, Mr. Bumhole. Hold on. This doesn't mean that it is spread throughout. What do I mean by this? When I say that 50% of people make above $150 to $180 a month, it doesn't mean that it is spread evenly throughout this 50% of people. Meaning, the first 10% make, let's say, $1,000 a month, and then the other 10% makes $5,000 a month, and the other 10% makes $10,000 a month. The other 10% makes $50,000 a month. No. All it means is that by giving you all these statistics, clearly, even though the average is $150 to $180, there is a big part of that 50% that is above $150 to $180 a month that is cramped up, that is super close to the number $150 to $180 a month. Super close. Because as you can see from the other statistics that I've named above, only around 16,000 people earned more than $50,000 a year. 16,000 only. So by knowing this, we know that it is the big majority of people basically make nothing. They make nothing. And now people are going to say, by, again, reading the quote that I just said, that the average creator makes $150 to $180 a month, they think to themselves, oh, but that's still $150. I could pay my gas and I could pay for some groceries. Look, this is not free money. Please remind yourself of what you need to do to get this money, to get this $150 that you're praising. What do you need to do? You need to do some stuff, right? That, selling pictures and videos of yourself. So this is work. This is time. And only that, depending on what you need to do exactly, what type of videos and pictures you're selling, this is a lot on a human mentally and physically just to get that $150. So is it really worth it? I mean, the clear answer to any people that has a rational intellect would say, no, it's not worth it. But to some people, it's still going to sound worth it. $150, $150. I could buy, how many Kit Kat bars can I buy? How many ice cream tubs? I just want to eat. No, calm down. I understand that especially Americans, you like to eat, but calm down, right? We all like to eat, but anyway, whatever I say, there's always going to be people that are going to find some reason to get into this type of work for some reason. And again, I am just the messenger, or I'm just the one that is spreading information. That's it. So you can blame me, you can scream at me, I don't care. Now, next. Now let's get into the part where there is a lot of things. This is a long, long list. I'm going to say it right now. This is a long list. And only is it a long list, this is only a part of the long list. Just a part of it. So, just making sure that I didn't miss any other point. So hold on with me for a second. So I want to adjust this because, I just want to make sure, because this sometimes it's too tight, but it's fine. Okay, let's get into the next point. So the next point, we are going to be talking about the cons. We talked about the pros, which were 3 points: fun, possible monetary gain, and why can my finger? Okay, and and the third, attention and fame. That's the other point. So now, it's a little bit cold in this room, but I have the seat for a second. I have a heater under. You cannot see it, but it's keeping me warm. So, yes. So let's get into the cons. My notes are sometimes really disorganized. It's not really in order with the presentation. So please don't mind me just taking my time reading for a few seconds, because I cannot follow my... It's not that I cannot read my own writing, by the way, because I know a lot of people, by the way, have bad handwriting. My handwriting is good. I would actually say great. I mean, you can judge it by yourself, but if you can see it, I just want to make sure that you can see it. My hand, if you can see it clearly, yeah, I like my handwriting. My handwriting is good. I mean, that's my opinion. I mean, you can think otherwise, but I don't care. You can have a writing competition against me, and I guarantee you every single time I'll win. Every single time. But yes. So, okay. So let's just get into the first point that I wanted to make, which is okay. So the first point, your chances of finding a good husband falls to 0. Now, again, just to make it clear, I'm talking about the cons, the disadvantages of doing sex work. And the first one is that your chances of finding a good husband, again, I specify this very clearly, not just a husband, because if you're just talking about finding a husband, any woman on the planet Earth today can go out in the street and find a random man that will get on his knees and marry her. No matter how ugly, how aggressive, how bad of a person you are, it doesn't matter. You will find a man to marry you because men are desperate in a certain way. But again, I don't want to get too much in detail into this, but I specify you will not be able to find a good husband. You will be able to find a husband. You'll be able to find a man that wants to marry you and have sex with you, but you will not be able to find a good husband that will treat you as you deserve to be treated, as a woman, as a wife, as a future mother. You will not be able to find a husband. You will not. And this is a guarantee. This is not, oh, but maybe all your chances are reduced. No, 100% of your chances are falling to 0. Nada. Zero. So this is really important to understand. Second point, men see you and your body only as a, wait. Oh, yes. So men see you and your body, and the reason why I've separated this, I'll explain later, only as a sex toy, only as a sex doll. Because the clients that you deal with, just think about this, the clients that you deal with on a daily basis. I mean, these clients, they are paying you for what reason in the first place? I mean, let's be honest. They're paying you not because you're a nice person. They're paying you because they want to have sex with you. They want. And again, this is, of course, directed towards the people that are escorts and prostitutes and sugar babies and escorts, prostitutes, sugar babies. So these men that you're dealing with, those men that you're dealing with, they're not here for anything else but sex, to fulfill their sexual desire. Let's just be honest here. And the reason why this is a con, because a lot of women are going to say, well, duh, but I don't care. The reason why it is actually a disadvantage to you is because you deal with a certain amount of men on a daily basis that are going to use you and see you as a sex toy, as a sex doll, purely and only. The disadvantage is that because these men treat you only as a sex toy, sex doll, again, I'm repeating myself, it's that not only are you not helping the case with other women in the world, because again, you represent to some degree other women in the world, whether you like it or want it or not. You do represent other women in the world, your family, your future daughter, your co-workers, every single one of these women, you are in an image and representation of other women. So whatever standard that you put to other men is the standard that a lot of these men that are dealing with you are going to set the same to other women. Even though it's not fair, you can say that, well, this is not my issue, this is the men's issue. Even then, you are participating, you are helping these men, and you are not helping your co-woman or co-workers or your other women in the world to be treated rightly or to be seen in the right way, because you are letting these men treat you like a pure piece of meat. That's the truth. Let's be honest here. So that is a disadvantage to other women in the world. And not only that, to yourself, because you will accumulate this sense. And again, this is something that I've read in forums by many women that do sex work, is that they see men in a total different way because of this. And they have low self-esteem because of the animalistic, or how do you say this? In the way that they're treated is in such an barbaric way in their work that they don't feel human anymore. They don't feel like they deserve any respect anymore by any men in general that they're going to be dealing with on a daily basis. They think that they are trash. They think that they're nothing. They think that they don't deserve to even be a human, to be treated rightly. They don't deserve to live anymore. And that's when you get into this rabbit hole of being depressed, taking drugs because you don't feel happy. So you get to another source of happiness that's going to give you temporary satisfaction to your brain, but really is going to destroy you in the long term. And then you get addicted to drugs, and then the side effects and then the bad effects of the drugs is taking over your body, and then you take even more drugs so you can feel better, and then you just get into this rabbit hole until you don't want to live anymore. There's no purpose of living, and everything is going wrong in your life, and they think about killing themselves. So this is a big issue, a big issue. Now, third point, becoming permanently, not just for a certain time, permanently for the rest of your life, unless you change your ways and change your direction, meaning not doing your sex work anymore, being permanently depressed and feeling empty. And again, I say this because I've read this over and over again. I've seen this over and over again from women having this feeling. And this is the way that they describe it. So don't take my words, take their words as the truth. This is what they say exactly. They feel depressed. They feel empty. They don't feel anything, especially towards men. And not only that, but towards themselves. They don't feel anything anymore. Their work has become so normalized, even though in the beginning it wasn't normal to them, but by doing it over and over again, it became so normal that doing all those disgusting acts, dealing with these disgusting men, and again, this is not me saying disgusting, this is them saying this. The women that have done these works themselves have said that it is disgusting, that them doing these disgusting actions, that retrospectively, when they look over what they've done in the past, they realize how disgusting it was. In the moment, of course, they couldn't realize, or they didn't admit, or couldn't see the disgusting aspect of it in their work. They couldn't see it. So this is another disadvantage, is that you are going to feel depressed permanently and feel completely empty. 4, violent and weird men will constantly approach you. Now, we've talked about, obviously, prostitutes dealing with weird clients, but this is also actually something that you can deal with as an adult actress. If you market yourself online and you sell pictures and videos of yourself naked, even if you don't have sex on camera, even if you don't actually have sexual intercourse with any person, but you just put videos of yourself naked, even then, weird men are going to be approaching you online and in real life. If they recognize you, they're going to be approaching you. These men are not normal men. These men are men that have, again, I was going to say deep mental issues, but I wouldn't say that this is the right description to describe them. But these men are men that have low value and low standards. These men follow their whims and desires. And these men are weak men that no woman should be getting near. These men do not deserve to even shake the hand of a woman, to even see the beauty of a woman. These men deserve to be disciplined heavily. But again, I'm not going to go into this. But this is the other disadvantage, is that you cannot complain if you purposely decide to get into sex work. You cannot say and complain, oh, well, you know, it's, I hate men because they always come up to me and they just ask weird things. They want me to show my chest. They want me to do this gesture and that gesture and to take a picture like this. It's so weird. I get annoyed. I feel harassed. Well, hold on now. You've decided to get into that field of work, so you assume the consequences. Now, do those consequences are they fair? No, I wouldn't say that it's fair. Of course not. You don't deserve that. No woman deserves that. No woman deserves to get harassed. Regardless of what she does, no woman deserves to get harassed. I'll say this. But you complaining about about men harassing you is not valid. Why? Because you've decided on your own to get into that field of work. So you have to accept those consequences regardless of the fact that it is unfair, that you're not being treated right. You complaining is not acceptable. It's not. Because you've decided to get into that field of work. So you deal with the consequence. Nobody put a gun to your head saying, Vanessa, get onto the pole and twerk. Nobody said this. So you have to accept this. And again, I'm saying this so that you don't do this. 5th point. Let's make sure that I am getting things in order. So I've said this. Wait, I just want to mark. You're guaranteed to never. Okay. So getting to the 5th point. Again, this thing, this thing is hard to adjust. Anyway. And by the way, if I stutter, if you hear me stutter, please, I'm sorry. I don't need to apologize. What did I apologize? Silly me. My throat is dry because I'm fasting for Ramadan. So please, I cannot drink water. So please, just bear with me. I'm sorry if I stutter, if I say anything wrong. Again, why did I apologize? Anyway, I'm going to apologize anyway, because for you, the viewers, I want you to listen to this very smoothly, have a smooth experience when it comes to listening to me. I don't want my voice to be annoying, even though I can be annoying. To be fair, I can be annoying a lot of times, but I won't apologize for that because nobody has put a gun to your head forcing you to listen to me. You can always just click the button on top and just go and listen to another video. So I'm not going to apologize for this. But for those of you that stay and listen, please, I'm sorry, my throat is dry. It is drier than the sandals of your grandmother. I'm sorry. If this insulted you, I didn't mean it, but it's true. Fifth, you are very likely to start consuming hard drugs. And when I say hard drugs, I mean it. Hard. And what do I mean by hard drugs? Meaning, I'm not talking about alcohol. I'm not talking about weed. I'm not talking about vaping. No. I am talking about cocaine, fentanyl, crack, methane, any hard drugs that is illegal in most countries to sell or to buy or to consume. And the reason why this is a point that should be named, it's because this is something that I've personally, how do I say this? That I've personally witnessed. Alhamdulillah, I've never consumed any drugs. Thank you, God. But the thing is, it's very sad when I see someone that is addicted to drugs. And I think it's time for me to, I'm going to say a little story that is true, obviously. I don't just make up stories. There was a time, and again, I don't want to go too much in specifics, but there was a time where I had the opportunity to have a conversation with a prostitute at a very young age. And I'm going to say fortunately, because without this, it helped me a lot understand the issues of addiction. I've had an opportunity to have in-person conversation with the prostitute. And she was young. And she said, basically, that she was incarcerated in jail for, I think she said 4 years to 5 years, from what I remember, for attempted murder on her boyfriend or ex-boyfriend at the time, or boyfriend at the time, ex-boyfriend now. And then she came out of jail. And again, I've learned this on the spot. Please don't think that I'm this insane kind of guy that just goes and speaks to anyone, right? If I would have known that she was incarcerated in jail for attempted murder, I would have not went to talk to her. Just to be very clear. But after speaking to her, she said, so she just got out of jail, and then her parents don't want her. And so she was trying to find a way to live. She didn't have any friends to help her. And so she had to find a job. And so the only job that she thought of was to be a prostitute. And so she became a prostitute and got a small place, a small basement to rent. And very dirty place, very small place. And she was basically explaining that she was doing this work purely to live. And that she had no other reason to do it. And I asked her, well, okay, you're doing this to live, but what is your purpose to live? Because you cannot just say, oh, I'm doing this just to live, right? Because she wasn't religious or nothing. So what is your purpose, right? What is your objective in this life? And she was saying, well, I like to take drugs. I mean, she didn't say this, but she was basically saying that she was addicted to the drugs that she was consuming. And when she showed me the drugs that was in front of her on the table, I'm not talking about weed or some alcohol. No, it was hard drugs, to the point where I couldn't even recognize what it was. I have no clue what it was. I just saw some powder. So, and she was addicted to it, to the point where even during the conversation that we had, she had to take the drug in front of me. And sadly, of course, I mean, I cannot just force her and say, oh, no, don't take the drug. She took the drug in front of me. And that was heartbreaking to me, because she was young. She was a young woman, was still speaking in a very well-spoken way. And she was also smoking cigarettes. And you could see in her eyes, it was totally shattered. Her purpose and her view and her perspective, or the purpose, was just not present, simply said. It was completely empty. And so she was sitting there, taking the drugs, smoking cigarettes, and she was talking to me in a way where she truly wanted to do better. She actually wanted to find a way out. I could see it because she was listening to me. If she wasn't interested and didn't want to listen to me, she would have just got me out and said, no, I don't want to talk to you. Get out. I'm not interested to talk to you. Give me money for sex, or I don't want to talk to you. No, she was actually sitting there listening to me. And again, I don't know her anymore today. I hope that she's doing well wherever she is in the world. I only met her once. I only talked to her once. And I gave her actually a plan to follow so that she can help herself. And I hope that she's doing well. But this is the issue. She got addicted to drugs for one reason. And those are not my words. I'm going to tell you what she said exactly to me. And this broke my heart even more. When I asked her, why did you start taking drugs? Did you like taking drugs? Did somebody presented those drugs to you and you just loved the idea of consuming it? She said no. She said, I started taking drugs because it was a way for me to forget what I was doing with the clients. It was a way for me to forget all the disgusting things that I'm doing on a daily basis with those men. Those are her words. Those are not mine. Those are her words. So this is the reason why this is not just a small issue here. We are talking about a gigantic, problematic virus that is completely deadly. Because, as you can see, her going to jail and then coming out of jail led her to prostitution. Prostitution led her to take drugs. Drugs led her to lose complete faith and purpose in life. It destroyed her life completely. One thing led to the other. Now, you could say that she could have prevented it, but again, this is something that is not arguable, because you only have so much power as a human. For example, I can say as a human, oh, okay, I'm not gonna eat any donuts for the rest of my life. No donuts. Let's say I'm a donut lover. I love donuts. Previously in my life, I've eaten donuts every single day. Glazed donut, chocolate donut, donut Boston cream, whatever that they call it. The jam donut, you know, and the jam donuts, usually they're very squishy, you know. The powdered donuts, they're the worst. I don't know who likes powdered donuts. Let's be honest. They're the worst. You might as well just put the glaze. It's way better. Because it feels like eating flour. What's the point? But let's say I've eaten donuts every day of my life. And one day I decide and I say to myself, I won't eat any donuts. Okay. So I go through life without eating any donuts. But let's say I say the same thing. I'm not going to eat any donuts for the rest of my life, but I'm going to be putting boxes of fresh donuts every single day. Go to the delivery, go to Dunkin' Donuts or to Krispy Kreme or whatever spot of donuts that is good. Go to these places and then buy those donuts fresh every single morning. Place it in my living room, in my kitchen, in my bathroom, in my bedroom, in my toilet seat, in my PC. I'll put it even on my shelves. I'll put it in my I'll put it on the balcony. I'll put it on the stairs. I'll put it in my locker room in school. If I do that, and then I say to myself, oh, I'm not going to eat any donuts, with a past previously of wanting to eat many, many donuts, am I going to be likely, or very, very likely, to break my own promise? Am I? Of course. Of course I am. Because I'm putting my environment, I'm putting myself in an environment that is the one. Okay, no, let me rephrase this. I am putting myself in the type of environment that I want to avoid in the first place. How stupid is that? So, going back to the point, what I mean is, again, it wasn't the best analogy I have to say. But again, I love donuts. I do. I mean, who doesn't love donuts, to be fair? But the point is, it's that you only have so much control on yourself when your environment that you are in, that you've put yourself in, is all against you and all the opposite of what you want to be. Right? So, for example, you want to be waking up early every single morning. It's going to be really hard if, I mean, it's not going to be really hard, but this is just an example, right? A light example. That if you want to wake up early, very early, let's say at 4 o'clock, but every single one of your friends, let's say in your house, let's say you live with roommates, every single one of them all sleep until noon. What are the likeliness of you waking up at 4 o'clock every single morning instead of doing the same as your friends? Of course, it's going to be lower, but it's still possible. Of course, I'm not saying that it is impossible, but your discipline as a human can only go so far when your environment is the complete opposite of what you want to be. So this is something that we need to take into account. Okay. Now, let's get into the next point, which is very likely to become addicted to alcohol. Again, this is the reason why I've separated these things, because these things need to be separated. There are people that are extremely addicted to alcohol, some extremely addicted to hard drugs, but not both at the same time necessarily. So your likeliness of becoming an alcoholic by doing sex work will rise tremendously. It is the same logic that I said with the woman that got addicted with hard drugs. Because you are trying, your brain is trying to find some happiness somewhere to get attached to, or to get dopamine from, in a way, so that you can feel happy again after doing something that made you feel miserable, which is, in this case, sex work. So you will very likely to become addicted to alcohol, very likely. So this is something that, again, I will talk about further, about the effects of alcohol and how good or how bad it is actually to your body in a next lecture separately, because alcohol is a big topic and there's many things that I need to mention. Next point, very likely to become addicted to smoking weed. And weed is something, again, I want to make this very clear. Weed is something that a lot of people underestimate, especially youngsters and adults as well, but mostly youngsters. They think that because it doesn't give cancer, like cigarettes, that it is good, that it is not bad, that it is fine, that it makes them relax. Look, it is not a good thing. But again, this is just like alcohol. This is a separate topic that we'll talk about in another lecture, inshallah. But smoking weed is something also that we can very likely become addicted to. Again, the same concept as alcohol. When you go through something horrible, your body is trying to seek something that's going to make you feel happy again. Something that's going to make you feel good again, right? So, same concept. Number 8, you are very likely to become addicted to smoking cigarettes. Same concept. And again, yes, it causes cancer, as many people know. But I would actually argue, and again, I just want to make this as a random statement that I believe in, which is cigarettes are less worse, but again, it's still bad. Nobody should smoke cigarettes, but it is less worse than weed. Yes, yes, yes. But again, I won't go into it today because this is a long topic. I don't have time to go into this topic. Next lecture, inshallah. Number 9, absent mother and father for your children. And this is something that is very important for me to point out. Very important. Because, how do I say this? A lot of women think, and I would say that this is mostly for women that do Onlyfans online, that sell videos and pictures of themselves, or even record sex videos. So basically adult actresses. They think that they're going to do this work, this sex work, for a few years, and then they're going to save all this money, and then they're going to be able to give this amazing lifestyle, or at least a comfortable lifestyle, to their future children. Look, the issue with that is that kids especially boys, don't need money. And that's one of the biggest misconceptions that a lot of women have when it comes to the happiness of children. Is that they think that they truly believe money is the solution to the happiness of their kids or the great future of their family. No, it's not. No, it's not. Look, just how many stories have you heard? Not just stories, but in general. How many families are living comfortably, happy, smiling every day? Many children, the father and the mother together, the children, the whole family, super happy all the time, living well, prosperous, but they don't have much money. How often do we see that? In different countries, we see that very often. So is money really the aspect of happiness? No, it's not, because we see the opposite over and over again. So please dash this, just throw it away, because this is not true. Thinking that money is going to be the guarantor or guarantee of your kid's success. It's not. Because your sex work, you doing sex work as a woman, as a mother, even if as a mother you stop doing it and it was in the past, it is going to hinder the way you treat your kids. Unless you truly regret, you become a mother, you have kids, and you truly regret what you've done in the past. Unless you have this regret, you are not going to be able to raise your kids in the proper way. Because if you don't regret it, that means that you condone and you support and you like all the things that you've done in the past. And that means that this could be something that you would suggest to your daughter or to your son. So the reason why I say absent is because a lot of women that do fall pregnant, whether it is accidentally, again, my mouth is dry, accidentally or on purpose get pregnant, these women most of the time won't spend a lot of time or enough time to raise their children in the correct way. Not only in the correct way, but they don't spend enough time. And the most important thing, again, this is another topic that we can talk about in another lecture, which is the importance of having a mother and a father in the life of the children and the roles of each of them. But this is an issue for your children because you will be absent by doing the work that you do. You will be directly and indirectly. Again, I don't want to go too much into it because I don't have time for it. I don't have time. But hopefully I'll have more time in the future, inshallah. Number 10, your children's health and well-being will be destroyed completely. And again, you could say that this is kind of the same as the previous point, but the reason why I've separated it is because your children, because the first one is more the previous one was also focused on the children, but this one I want to emphasize on the fact that not only are your children not going to be able to have quality time with you as a mother and as a father while you are absent, but their lives will be destroyed. So their life will not just be missing your quality time, but they will be destroyed completely. Because without giving them this guidance that you have as a mother and the guidance of a father, they will go astray. Guaranteed they will go astray. And more than likely, they will end up in jail, get addicted to drugs, all kinds of drugs, alcohol, weed, hard drugs, do all sorts and kinds of things, have low morals and standards in life. Many issues. But I can name on and on and on. So that's another issue. Number 11, start to hate all men in general. Wait, did I? Oh yeah, I have this. Look, because before I get to the next point, because I'm looking at the time, I don't have much time. I have maybe an hour left. And I have a lot to say, so I don't want to go for too long. Because I want to get into the second point. We haven't even talked about masturbation and the effects of adult videos. But I'll make this short. So 11, start to hate all men in general. Okay, yes. This is also a very important point. This is something that I've noticed from the forums that I've read. And so don't take my word. Those are the words of many women that I've noticed, that I've read, that have said this, and specifically said this in their forums, which is that they've started to hate men hugely. And this is very sad because, as we all know, in sex work, you will be dealing with all types of individuals, weird ones, some kind, but again, weird people, aggressive people, violent people, just men that have low morals and standards in life. And so their hatred over and over by dealing with all these disgusting men over and over again on a daily basis, of course, they will accumulate such a big ball of hate in their heart that any men that they come across on a daily basis, this is not just the men that they directly deal with in sex work, we're talking about any men, even outside of sex work, they will look at these men in such a disgusting way, with no respect and with such doubt that they don't want to talk to any men because of how disgusted they are towards these men that they are dealing with during their sex work. Next point, 12. And again, starting to build big trust issues. Again, this is very similar to the previous point, to the 11th point, because this is, again, when it comes to the way women that do deal in sex work see men outside of work. And one of them is that they will have a big trust issue in their heart. They will always hesitate to be able to listen to a man or to trust a man or to put their confidence into a man for even small things. Let's say they go to the supermarket and then there's a man that's saying to them, hey, you've dropped your wallet. And then they'll get suspicious, they'll maybe get annoyed, they'll maybe get offended, like, did he try to come up to me, to flirt with me, to try to have sex with me? And best believe, those are the thoughts that come across their mind for a lot of these women that do sex work, sadly. Oh, was he looking at my bottom? Was he looking at my body like a pervert? Oh, nah. So many things, many doubts, issues will come in their brain. And they won't be able to trust men as easily anymore. And that is a big issue that we need to talk about. Okay, next point. It's really weird because my legs are being roasted hot by the heater by my side. Now people are going to say, oh, but why don't you reduce the heat? The thing is, if I reduce the heat, I'm going to be cold because my upper body needs to be warm, right? So, and the heat is only going at my legs. So if I reduce the heat, well, my legs are going to be fine, are going to be rightly warm, but my hands are going to be freezing. So for my hands to be rightly warm, my legs needs to be roasted like a turkey. So yeah. But it's fine. Everybody likes a turkey leg. Thinking of turkey, I'm hungry. I'm so hungry. I'm fasting, but look, fasting is a beautiful thing because I'm doing this for the sake of Allah. Alhamdulillah. But I'm hungry. I'm thinking, I've talked about donuts, I've talked about turkeys, I've talked about what else? My mouth is watering, even though my mouth is dry. My mouth is watering. But inshallah, I will eat very soon. Number 13, being close and surrounded regularly by men that are violent sex addicts. And the reason why I've put this point as a separate point to the fourth point, which is violent men and weird men will constantly come and approach you. The reason why I've put those two separate points as different points is because I've specified at the end violent sex addicts. This is really important. I specified sex addicts because these men that are sex addicts these men are a specific type of men that you will have to deal with, that will come to you, that will approach you on a daily basis. And these type of men are another type of men different from the violent men that are annoying and weird. These men that are sex addicts will come up to you constantly. Now, for some women that are doing these sex work, they're going to say, well, great, I make more money. Well, okay, but the thing is, these type of men are truly a next level of disgusting. The fact that they are sex addicts, and it never stops at just sex. It always goes beyond some weird thing that, like I said before, feces and just some weird role plays and then dark fantasies. It goes really dark. People just think that it's just sex. No, it goes really dark. I won't go into it because it is so disgusting that it is out of my mental capacity. It's too disgusting. Next, number 14, getting insulted and degraded daily by men. So you will get approached, and only get approached by these violent men, weird men, sex addict men, but you will get insulted and degraded by a lot of them. Not every one of them. Of course, there's always going to be women that are going to say, oh, but no, I've had great experiences for most of my regular clients and it's fine. Okay. But for a lot of them, they will all admit that they are often insulting, that they are degrading them, even though they don't want to be, but they are degrading them online verbally. And I've said verbally specifically, of course, physically also, but I said verbally daily specifically because this has a much bigger toll on you psychologically in the long term to you as a woman that does sex work by being insulted and hearing these bad words from men. Because you feel like you don't deserve anything. You feel like you're lower. You feel like you're not a human anymore. You feel like you just listen to those insults every single day. And then you slowly associate these words to yourself in a certain way. Oh, you are a beep. Oh, you are a MF. Your mother is a you are just a sex you are no, whatever insult that it is. So this will have huge damage to your brain as a woman that does sex work. Next work. Hopefully we have time. Extreme pain of regret for doing sex work in the future. And this is something really important also, because let's just assume, hopefully, to any woman that is listening to this, that is doing sex work, hopefully you will get to this stage before you die, because we will all die. Again, I'm not trying to be negative here. I will die, he will die, she will die, everybody will die. Your puppy will die, even though your puppy is cute. Again, I like dogs, I like cats, but again, we will all die. Hopefully you will have this sense of regret before you die. Hopefully. That you will realize that what you're actually doing is not only good to you physically, not only bad to you, not only not good to you physically, not only not good to your brain psychologically, but it is not good to you what's the word? I was going to say, I'm going to say it. It is not good to you spiritually. And again, I'm not a spiritual person, but I use this term very specifically because across your lifetime, when you live as a human, you need to be able to be at peace with yourself without having any skeletons in your closet, as they say, without having dark thoughts in the back of your brain daily that comes out in random moments that is telling you, oh, remember when you did this in the past? Remember when you did that? Remember when you did this disgusting thing? This is what you are. You are a disgusting person. You don't deserve to be disciplined, to teach you, to treat yourself in the right way. No, you're a disgusting person. Those thoughts will roam around in the back of your brain if you don't have peace of mind. If your spirit is not clean, is not organized. And so that's something that's really important, is that you hopefully will have this regret, but not only that, but when you do get to this point, I mean, the more time you spend into sex work, the bigger the pain is going to be. But when you get to that point of regret, when you regret those things, that pain, that moment when you feel the regret, when you realize the mistakes that you've done, is going to be so big, you would have wished something could have erased all the past. Everything that you've done in the past, you wished something can erase your past completely. You wish. And actually, there is something that can erase your past completely. But again, I won't go into it right now currently. I'll go into it later if I have time. But this pain is inevitable. If you are currently doing sex work, that extreme pain is inevitable. For some people, it's going to last a day. Hopefully, it lasts very short for all of you, inshallah. But for some people, it's going to last a week, a month, a year, multiple years. So this is something, another disadvantage with doing sex work, is that this regret is inevitable to happen, because we will all age, and unless an accident happens to you, or tragedy happens and you die early, hopefully not, but unless this happens, you cannot escape that moment of regret, because you will have regret. Oh, best believe you will. You might not believe that you will. Again, a lot of women that do sex work, and men also, they think that they will never feel any regret. Oh, I love my work. I love having sex on camera. I love doing hanging out with my girlfriends and traveling and, This is for the people that make millions of dollars. But again, this is just a small group of people. But these people say, I love traveling, and they're just meeting new people and then having sex with those people and then filming it and just getting fame. And I just love it. Okay. You will see. You will see. Again, I am just the one that spreads information. You can hate me all you want. You can disagree with me even. But I'm just spreading the information based off of, obviously, my personal experience in life and the knowledge that I learn through other people, whether it is online or people that I talk to personally. So you can disagree with me, it's fine, but you will see. And I am very confident, and I know actually, even though I don't want to sound arrogant, but I know that you will feel regret. And this is something that you need to avoid. Now, looking at all those points, 15 points, 15. Those are all the cons. And those are only the cons, by the way, just to make it clear. Those are only the cons that I've came up with, clearly, and detailed points that are different from each other. But really, if I really wanted to name every single point, I could go on and on and on. But look at this. All of these 15 points, are those disadvantages, are all of those things worth it for you to get fun, potential monetary gain, and attention? Is sacrificing and risking all of these things, of you getting all of these 15 points, worth the 3 pros that I've named before? Fun, potential monetary gain, and fame. Is it worth it? Any rational person will know in their brain, yeah, this is not worth it. Even though it is tempting, by looking just at the pros, it's very tempting. But when you look back and you actually analyze and you weigh the pros and the cons, you can clearly see that there's something that is heavier on the scale. And so you need to be honest with yourself. You can lie to me, you can lie to your friends, you can lie to your family, but you cannot lie to yourself. You can't. So this is something that you need to think about thoroughly and understand why this is not an option. Not only is it a bad option, it is not an option to do sex work. For men and women, it is not an option at all. Because a lot of people would say, well, it is a bad initiative, it is a bad career. Well, hold on now. No, it is just not a career. It's not a job. It's not a career. It's not a type of work. No. Even though I say sex work, I just use it as a term so that it's clear to people what I mean when I speak, but it's not a job. It's not a career. It is not. And no matter what anybody says to you, it is not. Because that would assume that this is something that you can do openly in front of everyone. It is. If it is truly a job, as people say, it should be something that you can do extremely openly. Now, people would say, well, it is already done openly. Prostitutes, a lot of them are doing it openly. Onlyfans, they're doing it all over social media, so they're doing it openly. Well, hold on. Yes, they're doing it openly. And for some of them, yes, they don't care about anyone that is looking at them or that knows about them when it comes to them doing sex work. And they want people to look at them. I understand. But for a lot of them, For a lot of these women that do sex work, they actually don't want to be seen. They want to keep their privacy. They don't want certain people to know, if not everyone, they don't want certain people to know that they are doing sex work and that they're doing this type of job. They don't. So just look at all this list. It's a lot, indeed. Anyway, I don't have a lot of time anymore, so I'm going to go quickly. Okay, we can finally get to the next point, which is the second point, the second presentation of today, which is masturbation and porn. I mean, it goes hand to hand. And this is something that is more towards men, but I will say this. It is actually something that is actually, I've said actually twice. I hate repeating myself. And this is something that I point out, by the way. When I speak and I repeat myself, I usually point it out because I just don't like to repeat myself, especially when it's unnecessary. So, masturbation and watching porn goes hand to hand. It goes together. Even though some people masturbate and don't watch porn, that's another discussion. But masturbation usually comes with watching porn. And this is actually more common. I mean, it is obviously more common in men, but it is actually more common than people think in women. It is way more common than people think, especially in today's age. Sadly and unfortunately. So this is actually a topic that is to the men and to the women hugely. And women and men need to listen carefully, especially young people, because the sad truth is, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. The sad reality is that a lot of people that watch porn are minors, are people that are under the age of 18, sadly, across the world, because they have access to internet. And we all know how easy it is to just click a few buttons and then go on a porn site and watch all the disgusting videos that exist. It's very easy. Anyone can do it. And so I'm not going to run around the bush and hide it, even though this is YouTube. A lot of people that watch porn are youngsters. Girls and boys, sadly. And this is an issue that I will fix today. After watching this, after listening to this, I will give you all the solutions to get rid of this addiction, if you have an addiction. I guarantee you have my word. So, the first point that I wanted to point out before I give the solutions is that a lot of people say it is normal to masturbate. You will see this, you will hear this from some sexologist, from some teacher in some countries. They will tell you this: oh, it is normal to masturbate, it is normal to watch porn, it's just you need a moderation to it. It's not. Don't listen to these people, because this is a lie. This is not normal, even though it has been normalized. This is not normal. It is weird. It is disgusting. It is something that you would never do in public. Just think about it. Just think about it for a second. Would you, as a man or as a woman, masturbate in front of your mother, in front of your father, in front of your friend at school, in front of your teacher, in front of a stranger on the street? Would you do it? Of course not. So that gives you the answer. You can say that it is normal and try to normalize it to your brain and to other people as much as you want. This is not going to change the fact that it will never be normal and that masturbating isn't a normal act. And you can even see it throughout history if you want to go with facts and go read the history. Men and women don't do that. Oh no, but I have this sexual urge. Even then, they don't masturbate. Just go and read history, please. But anyway, this is not normal. I was so serious. And then I just remember, I mean, again, this is a serious thing that I want to say. You are a loser. If you masturbate, I want you to know this, as a man and as a woman. If you masturbate and watch porn, you are a loser. You are a loser. There's no other definition to describe you. You should have no pride whatsoever into the fact that you're masturbating. Just because you do it in private doesn't change the fact that you should have some kind of shame and humility on yourself. So you're a loser. Next point. You thought that I was going to go to the next point without reminding you again that you are a loser. You are a loser. The reason why I've put it twice is because this is not emphasized enough to enough people in the world. Because so many people do this. They masturbate and they watch porn, especially young people, and they think that it is normal because so many people do it. It is not normal, and you are a loser. I want you to know this, to ingrain this in your brain. You are a loser, a complete loser, if you masturbate even once per year. There's no such thing as moderation, like I said before. Even if you do it once a month, once every 6 months, whenever I feel like it months, it doesn't matter. You are a loser if you do it. Next point now that I've made it clear. You are a big loser. This is the other thing that I wanted to point out to add on to the fact that you are a loser. You're a loser. You're a loser. You are a big loser. Not only are you a bottom tier loser, you are a big loser. Imagine how big it is. Just to give you an idea of how big of a loser you are, imagine what is big? What is big? Imagine my stomach after eating 10,000 donuts in one sitting. That's how big it is. That's how big of a loser you are. And by the way, I'm capable. Not 10,000, obviously, but depending on the size, if there are mini donuts, I could. But I would say that I could eat in 5 minutes. I say I could eat a dozen. A whole box of Krispy Kreme, a dozen donuts, full-size donuts, Krispy Kreme, glazed donuts. The ones with the hole, not the one that are full like Boston cream, no. The ones with the hole, I can eat a whole 12 pack. A whole 12 pack within 5 minutes. I think I can do it. I think I could. Easy. Easy. I'll smash them. I'm hungry now. Whenever I talk about food, I just get very hungry. But anyway, next point. And before I get to the next point, wallahi, this is the last point of this page. But you are not a man. You are not a man. As a man, if you masturbate, you are not a real man. You're a little boy. Actually, not even a little boy. Because this is an insult to little boys, to actual little boys and to little kids. For me to say that you're a little boy. No, you are below a little boy. You are Not even a baby, because a baby is innocent. So it would be an insult to babies. You are not a man. You are the worst of the worst creation. The worst. You're a loser. You're a loser. You're a big loser. You're not a man. No matter how tough you are, no matter how many weights you do at the gym, no matter how many guns you have in your bedroom under your bed, no matter how much money you have, how many houses you own, how many cars you have, this doesn't change the fact that if you masturbate, you are not a man. And this applies the same to women. If you masturbate, you're not a real woman. You're not. No matter how much you say, you will never be a woman. I mean, you are in the gender sense a woman, but you will never be a lady. You will never be a great mother. Never. If you masturbate as a woman, you will never be a great mother. You will never be a great woman to the people around you. Or at least you will never be able to reach your full potential, or even near it. And again, it doesn't mean that you cannot be a well-spoken woman. It doesn't mean that you cannot be kind if you masturbate. No, of course not. There are many people that masturbate, but they're kind. But this doesn't change the fact that you will not be a real lady, a real woman, for those that know what I mean by this. I won't go too much into it. But for the real ladies that know about this, you will know. Next point. Now, okay. Now let's get into the 10 ways to stop watching porn. Hopefully I'll have time to explain it, all of them, because I don't have a lot of time. I have like 40 minutes left. Hopefully I'll have time. So I want to make this very clear, okay? Yes, I want to clarify that those 10 ways are guaranteed. If you follow all of these 10 points, there is no way you will masturbate again. If you follow all of these 10, there's no way. And for most of you, you don't even need to do all 10 of them. It will only take a few of them. But I've purposely thought of all these points, to give it to you as solutions that actually work, not just generalized solutions like you see in most of these videos online, actually solutions that you can implement that work. If you implement all of these 10, hopefully you don't have to implement all 10 of them, but even if you implement all 10 of them, it's going to be good for you in general in your life, physically and psychologically. But these 10 ways are going to work. There's no way you can still be addicted to watching porn or masturbating after doing these 10 ways. Guaranteed. In a matter of 14 days to 30 days, it will go away. Guaranteed. And if it doesn't go away, you have my promise that you can contact me through my email. You can find it in the description. You can contact me through email or through X. Send me a message and tell me that you've tried all 10 ways and that it didn't work. But it's not going to happen. But you can contact me personally if for some reason it doesn't work. I will personally spend my time for free to help you get rid of this addiction, inshallah. But just to make it very clear, I'm very confident that it's not going to happen, because I've put these 10 ways and I'm telling you that it is guaranteed for a reason. And again, I'm going to say, the following ways that I'm going to say are for comedic purposes, because I don't want to get sued. Even though I said guaranteed, the following thing that I say is for comedic purposes only. comedic purposes only. I have no idea why my eyes are closing and opening suddenly, but for comedic purposes only. I don't want to get sued. Okay? Thank you very much. So now, let's get into the 10 ways. The first one, and I've ordered them, this is in order of strength. Meaning, if you apply the first one, the first one is the easiest to apply. And then it goes into bigger solutions that are harder to apply, but that have also a harder impact on your chances to delete or remove your addiction on masturbation and watching porn. The first point is to fix your sleep cycle and to not sleep late. That's the first one. And why is it important? And before I say that, I want to specify that not sleeping late, meaning specifically when the sky turns dark, wherever you live. So it's not a specific time, it's when the sky turns dark. Unless you have a specific work to do or homework, or you have a very strong or valid reason to stay up, you should go to sleep right after. Meaning, for example, if you have homework to do, fine. You do your homework, you have your supper, and then don't stay up during the night watching some movies, scrolling on social media. No. If it's dark, go to sleep. Because this is only going to help you get astray and want to go into these pornographic sites. So fixing your sleep cycle is the most important thing. Going to sleep when the sky turns dark. And actually, the reason why it is so important to go to sleep when the sky turns dark as soon as possible, it's because you have more of the likeliness to watch porn and to masturbate as a human, because instinctively, when you see darkness in the sky, when from the windows of your bedroom, or even if you don't have any window in your bedroom, but from the window of your living room, your kitchen, when everything turns dark, when the room and the house that you live in turns more silent and there's less noise because your parents, your siblings are going to sleep. And you should be going to sleep, but you're not. You're in your bed, laying, scrolling on social media. Your brain instinctively is telling you, oh, it's nighttime, it's silent, it's time for me to do things in private, anything that I want to do. So this is the reason why bad habits often comes out more often when the sky turns dark during the evening. And this is something that you need to avoid completely. You need to avoid completely. So that's very important. Especially, it does the same effect, even if in your bedroom, for example, there's no windows. It's a closed bedroom. And you have a lamp. Let's say you close the main light in your bedroom, the one that's on the ceiling, but you let your lamp open. Or for those teenagers these days that have LED lights that are obsessed with it, and they have those LED lights open, and that's the only light in the bedroom, and the main light in the room is closed, is not lighted. If I don't know what's the term, but open, right? You are going to be way more likely to fall into this addiction to masturbate and to watch porn if you stay up late, if you stay in the darkness, because instinctively that's what your brain tells you. So fix your sleep cycle. Go to sleep early when this sky turns dark as soon as possible, and wake up early, because that's the normal cycle of a human. Before there was electricity, before there was means for us humans to be able to stay up late and to see by putting lights on the streets, by putting lights in our rooms, in our houses, it was not possible to see. When it turned night, it was time to sleep. Because that's how life works. When it turns dark, you're supposed to sleep. That's the purpose of it. Nighttime was created, and again, I don't want to go too deep into it, but it was created for the purpose of you sleeping. It is. And the purpose of daylight is the purpose of you to wake up and to do what you have to do to live. So fix your sleep cycle. That's the first point that you can fix. And for a lot of people, when you just do this first point, you will already see huge changes. You will see that you might even get rid of it straight away by just doing this. By forcing yourself. And again, I know it's not going to be easy because it's addicting to stay up late. I understand. Even I have this issue sometimes, but force yourself and it will become a habit. And over time, even in a matter of a few days after going to sleep early, your body is going to get used to it. And your body is actually going to get to a point where it's going to crave it. Really. You're going to get tired sooner. You're going to want to go to sleep sooner. You're going to instinctively wake up earlier. And that's better for you as a human. Better for you physically, psychologically, and it's going to help you get rid of this addiction, inshallah. Second point. Hopefully there's enough time. Changing your recommendations. And this is something that is actually very underrated, that I haven't heard many people mention when it comes to other people online mentioning solutions. But changing recommendations in the applications that you use. Because again, the main factor that drives you or any human to want to go to a porn site to watch porn videos and masturbate is usually something that they've seen before, something that they've been aroused by previously, whether it is a few minutes ago, a few seconds ago, a few hours ago. And so that gave them this interest of wanting to seek more and to watch more. So by changing the recommendations of your social media platforms that you use, this includes YouTube, Instagram. And again, I don't recommend people to have Instagram, but this is a later point that I will mention. YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook. I mean, who uses Snapchat really? Snapchat and Facebook? Come on. I mean, what other social media platforms? TikTok. There is a way for these platforms, there's all a specific way to change the recommendations of the content that you want to see. You can filter it. So force yourself to filter all the sexual things, all the 18 plus content out of it. Yes, you will miss other content that may be beneficial for you, but it's at what price? At a good price, because you will avoid all the other sexual content that you will see on social media, because sex is obviously so normalized in today's age, sadly, all over social media. So regulating your recommendations, not only within the applications of your phones, but actually going into the settings of your phone and going to, I think it is time consumption or something, the time that you spent on your screen. You go, I mean, this is for iPhones, obviously. For those that use Androids, well, sad for you, but I don't know how to use them. But, and by the way, for the Android users, how does it feel to take a picture and then after taking the picture, it's all pixels? I'm sorry, I had to say it. I'm sorry. I don't have anything bad against the Android users. I love you. I respect you. But iPhones are better. Anyway. So you go into iPhone, you go into settings, and then you go into a section where it is the time that you spent on the screen, and you will see a category under with a banner, a red banner, like a not allowed banner in red and white. And it's basically, you click that and you will be able to restrict all the applications that you don't want to use, even those that are embedded within your phone. You can even remove Safari. So you don't, so you cannot log into Google or go into these pornographic sites. And you can even remove Apple Store. But again, of course, you can always put it back on by just a click of a button, but it makes it more difficult by removing Apple Store and removing Safari from your phone on the home page. So even if you search and type for it within your phone, you won't be able to click it, or you won't be able to access it unless you go into the settings again and go into the section to unlock Safari and Apple Store specifically. And guess what? This will actually stop a lot of your impulse into wanting to go and watch porn. Because usually, and the reason why I address this is because most people watch porn on their phone. I mean, you can go and see the statistics, and not only that, but a big portion of people use their phone on a daily basis. That's what they carry. And that's what they use usually in their bedroom. For most people, they don't use the computer. I mean, some people do, but a lot of people, they use their phone. So by regulating the applications in your phone, by making your phone more restricted to yourself, by restricting your phone to yourself, by restricting the amount of amenities and the amount of applications that you can actually access, will reduce your impulse hugely. So that's the second point. Again, I want to go through this fast because I want to, I don't have much time. I need to go to do something else. Oh, wait. I have to say this. It is officially time. It is, we call in Islam, as Muslim, we call this Maghrib prayer. So it is time, and it is also the time where the sun sets. And because, like I said before, it is Ramadan, and we are supposed to fast from early morning until the evening, I can now break my fast because the sun has set. I will break it with some delicious water. And by the way, this water is pure H2O. It is distilled water. Yes, it is the water that you see and that you use in your science class when you were a kid. Yes. Yes, it is. But this water, even though it's not the best, it's better to have some minerals added to it. This is water that is way better than drinking your tap water. Way better. So please, to the people, this is just a side note. I know it has nothing to do with the conversation, but do not drink tap water because there is a lot of hormones, a lot of things that are not, a lot of chemicals that are not filtered throughout the filtration system, depending on the country and city that you live in. There's a lot of hormones and chemicals that are not capable of being filtered by these big filtration system, and they go all the way into your home, into your tap, and that's where you're drinking if you do drink tap water. So please get either a reverse osmosis system. Again, I won't explain because I don't have time, but I'll maybe into a next lecture I'll explain this, inshallah. But either a reverse osmosis system or distilled water. which is this. So pure H2O, Bismillah. Woo! Woo! I feel like a new man. The fact that, sorry, the fact that I can speak properly and my throat is not dry anymore. Okay, anyway, I don't have much time, so I need to go through the points. But third point, keeping yourself busy all day. Having a busy schedule is essential. It is absolutely essential. Because if you don't do anything, and the likeliness you stay at home and you don't know what to do, you get bored, what will you do? Of course, you'll have this impulse because you don't know what to do. So you'll turn towards something that will give you happiness. That's what your brain is going to tell you, especially if you have this as a habit. But if you have something constantly to do, you won't fall into this impulse and into this habit as much, because you have things to do. You do this, and then after you do this, and then you need to do this after. You know what you need to do right after. So you're busy. So that's the third thing. Keep your schedule busy. If you don't have a busy schedule, you need to find a way to have a busy schedule. Learn a skill, learn a new language, go and make some money, and anything. Go and do something, right? Number 4, staying out of your bedroom. And again, the previous point, the third point, and the fourth point can go together in a sense. But the fourth point, staying out of your bedroom, is really important, because the bedroom is usually the place, I would say 90% of the time, where people do the act of masturbating and watching porn, because that's where they have privacy the most. And that's the reason why the thing that you need to do is make sure that all of your activities or whatever that you do on a daily basis is outside of your bedroom as much as possible. Try to do your best to put all of your activities outside of it, outside of your bedroom, because this will make you essentially out of your private bubble, and you will be exposed to other people, and you will less likely go into the act of masturbating and watching porn, because this is something usually that people do in a dark place, privately, without nobody watching, hiding themselves. So stay out of your bedroom as much as possible. You should only be in your bedroom when you go to sleep. That's it. For nothing else but sleep. As soon as you wake up, you should get out of your bedroom and not go into your bedroom ever again. I mean, obviously, unless you want to wear your clothes, dress yourself, and then go out. And then you shouldn't go back to your bedroom until you go back to sleep in the evening, genuinely. And a lot of people don't have this habit, sadly. They spend more time in their bedroom than they spend outside, or not even outside, that they spend in any other place on a daily basis. They spend so much time in the bedroom, it is ridiculous, especially young people. So please, to the parents, or even as a youngster yourself, stay out of your bedroom. Do you really want to get rid of this this habit? Okay, then stay out of your bedroom. With the combination of keeping yourself busy, it will be easy to stay out of your bedroom. Very easy. 5, and this is something that is not... Oh, sorry, I'm just calibrating my heat again. Number 5, cutting sugar, no junk food. But again, junk food is very general. But I say cut sugar specifically. This is the most, this is the specified detail that I want people to follow, which is cut your sugar. Is it a little bit? No, cut it completely. Completely. Of course, if you're the type of person like me that likes to eat sugary things, you can reduce it. Start reducing it, not by just a little bit, reduce it heavily. Reduce it by at least 90%, at least. Straight, cold turkey. Yes, as they say, directly. Because cutting sugar, actually what it will do is it will make your brain instinctively more disciplined. What do I mean by this? Because if you're the type of person that eats, for example, dessert, a nice cheesecake. Everybody likes a nice New York cheesecake after eating. So you eat the cheesecake and then you feel this happiness. And then while you eat the cheesecake, you want to eat more of it. You eat more and more and more of it until you get sick of it. But that's how your brain works. Essentially, initially, when you ate that first bite of cheesecake, all the following bites came because your brain was seeking this dopamine. Your brain, after this first scoop of cheesecake, told yourself or told to you, hey, I like this. I really like this New York cheesecake. Let me get another bite. Let me get another bite. Let me get another bite. Because it chases this dopamine that it is releasing. It likes this. It feels good to you. So cutting your sugar, what it will do is that it will eliminate your body or your brain wanting to see this dopamine over and over again. Now, people are going to say, well, what does it have to do with masturbating and porn? I understand that cutting sugar is a good thing, but what does that have to do with stopping the habit of watching porn and masturbating? Because if you do eat sugar, if you're the type of individual that eats a lot of sugar and that craves, that has a sweet tooth and that eats desserts on a daily basis or even regularly, your body is going to crave also, even outside of that dessert. For example, after eating that dessert and after eating enough of that sweet thing that you just ate, your body is going to crave the next thing. Yes, it doesn't crave the cheesecake anymore that you just ate, but it's going to crave the dopamine still. That dopamine release, your body is constantly craving it. There's not a stop to this. Yes, there is a stop to the craving of the New York cheesecake, but there's not a stop to the craving of the dopamine. So this is something that you need to stop, because if you don't cut the sugar, you are increasing the desire of your body of wanting to release dopamine. So, and you don't want that. So what you're doing, if you do eat sugar, is that you are facilitating your body to go to watch porn and masturbate by having this previous habit, obviously, of watching porn and masturbating. It will facilitate it by many, many, many multiples. So cutting sugar is extremely important, and you will see the effects actually drastically. Please do this test. I understand that you like to eat cheesecake, you like to eat donuts just like myself, and ice cream as well, even though I'm lactose intolerant, but never mind, ice cream is so good. Just test this, do a test for 7 days. That's it. 7 days, try it. I know it will be hard, but try 7 days with no sugar, none. So no honey, no dessert, nothing, anything that has sugar, you don't eat it. You can eat fat, you can eat salt, anything that is salty, but no sugar whatsoever for 7 days. And watch how less often and how much less of an impulse you will have to go and actually watch porn and masturbate. You will see the difference in those 7 days. So, inshallah, it works. But again, we all like to eat sugar, but this is the 5th one, okay? The 6th solution is to put your computers, tablets, phones, any screens, including your TV screen. If you have a TV screen in your bedroom, for those of you that are very bougie, again, I don't know why a parent would let a kid have a whole plasma 4 HD, 4K HD, whatever they call it, screen in their kid's bedroom. That's insane to me. But remove it. All the screens, remove it from your bedrooms. You can use it, but just not in your bedroom. Remove it all from your bedroom. Meaning, every single time that you want to use your computer, your laptop, your iPad, your iPhone, any electronics that is a screen that you can interact with, you put it outside in your living room, in your bathroom, and anywhere besides your bedroom. And I know that it's hard because a lot of people do their homework in their bedroom. That's where they can get the most privacy. That's where they can concentrate the most. I understand. But again, this goes down to how bad do you want to cut your addiction, to get rid of this addiction? How bad do you want it? Some people don't want it bad enough. So I guess just continue into being a loser, a big loser, and into this very bad habit. But again, this is the sixth solution, putting all the screens outside of your bedroom. Seventh, now that's when, in the second point that I was talking about, the recommendations and the applications. Seventh, deleting Instagram. And again, this point also includes all other social media platforms like X, previously Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, Facebook, YouTube. Deleting, actually YouTube, I wouldn't include it, but if you don't need YouTube, well, it's fine. Well, you wouldn't be able to watch me, but it's fine. It's actually better. You don't need to watch me. The most important thing is getting rid of your addiction. So this includes all of those social media platforms, but more specifically, and I emphasize Instagram, because Instagram is actually the biggest route, and I've seen this from many people, and I've talked to many people. Instagram is the biggest route of, or the biggest driving factor of people watching porn. It is. Because it is pictures. It is pictures. And the algorithm, and again, I'm saying this for comedic purposes. I don't want to get sued. I don't know why my eyes are closing and opening suddenly. I don't want to get sued by anyone, by any company. But the algorithm of Instagram is highly favored to show women in a nearly nude way. Or not even nude, but just in general, to show women, to show beautiful women with their hair, with their dress, them in a bikini, whatever it is, the algorithm is feeding, is way easier to get exposed to these kind of pictures of women in very indecent dresses or bikinis or whatever that you call them. So compared to other algorithm, it is way worse, way worse in terms of showing nudity and explicit content. Now people will say, oh, well, X is much worse. There is complete porn videos. Yes, but the difference is once a user watches certain video and I would say filters certain content that they see on X, they won't see those porn videos anymore. It won't just come out randomly in the Explore page. But in Instagram, there are explicit, not as explicit as porn videos, but there are explicit images and just openly pictures of women that can arouse men easily all over Instagram, that can pop out on the explore page, in the recommendations, way easily than other applications. So this is the reason why Instagram should and has to be deleted. And not only that, not only this, but Instagram is a dating app. And again, this is something that I'll go further into in future lectures, inshallah. But this is an application that is 100% a dating app. It is not even a social media platform anymore. It is purely a dating app. And so this is the reason why I don't have it, because it is a application that is not necessary to have. It is not. I don't understand for the people that do business, but again, even then, it's not necessary. And the harm that it does to you is way, way, way bigger and higher than the benefit that it gives you. Even as a business owner, if you have a business page, even as a business owner, I'm telling you, it does way more harm than good. I guarantee. Now, I don't have much time, but I'll go through it, inshallah. Point 8, change your iPhone for a flip phone. And this is the reason why, like I said, it goes into order. It goes into more and more difficult points to apply. But even then, the impact and the benefit that it gives you will be even bigger. Changing your iPhone to a flip phone is one of the biggest ways to cut this habit. I mean, at the end of the day, the most important tool of using a phone is what? Is to be able to communicate with people that you need, to be able to call people. So just get a flip phone. You can still text people, you can still call people. What else do you need more? Right? Oh, but I need to take pictures. Look, Joe Schmo, you're a man. Stop taking gay selfies. And again, I mean it. So many of these guys that I see take selfies like women. You're not a woman. I understand that some of you are part of the LGBTQYZ divided by 2 plus 3 multiplied by W and Z. But please understand, you are not a woman. You're not. Even if you identify yourself as a woman, you're not. You're a man. So please just stick to, my point was first, don't take selfies. That's gay. Now, going back to the point, stop using your phone and downloading so many applications just for your fun, especially games and just things that keep you on the phone consistently over and over again. The majority of people spend so many hours on their phone. It is insane. I mean, the fact that you can see the hours that you spend on your screen by just going to your settings, you will see yourself. You will be disgusted by yourself, by the amount of hours that you spend on your screen daily. And you wonder why you're not getting anywhere in life, and why you have so many issues, and why you're getting distracted in school and university. Please give me a break. Anyway, getting back to the point. 9, getting married. And this is the reason why this is the 9th point. Again, I just want to close an alarm that I had. Anyway, number 9, getting married. That is the obvious point. I know that a lot of people see this, think of this, and they just think that it's a, how do you say this? They think that, no, actually, I will say this. A lot of people don't, what's the word? I'm thinking of a word. They underestimate the power of getting married young. Of course, If you're not financially capable of taking care of your wife, of the woman that you're going to be with, don't get married. But getting married, and again, we're not talking about girlfriends, boyfriends. No, this is disgusting. Move it away. This is another discussion to have in the future lecture. You shouldn't even have a girlfriend, boyfriend, but that's another discussion. But getting married, even at a young age, is an option. And the earlier, the better, if you can, as a man, take care of the woman financially. And if you are both ready to be married, obviously. But getting married is a solution because, of course, you get to satisfy that sexual desire because, again, we're humans. As men and women, we will have sexual desires. As soon as we hit puberty, those sexual desires will be present. And so we need to fulfill those sexual desires in a certain way. And so getting married is an option. And please do it. If you can, if you have the means to do it, and you know you are ready to do it, even if you don't want to do it, do it. Especially if you have an addiction, like we said here, which is what we're talking about, an addiction to watch porn and to masturbate, get married. This will fulfill this need that you have, and it will eliminate it completely, inshallah, because it will be, your sexual desires will be fulfilled. And you won't need to go to watch porn and masturbate. Now, the 10th and final point. Reading and listening to the Quran. Now, I want to take some time to explain this. A lot of people are going to say, okay, let me wait. Let me just, before I talk about this point, I just want to get back to, I want to get back to the full screen. I want to get back to the full screen so people can understand what I have to say. So the 10th point is reading the Quran and listening to the Quran, but most importantly, reading. Why is that? Now, people are going to say, oh, I know what Daki is doing. He's trying, because he's a Muslim, he's trying to push us to become a Muslim like him. He doesn't care about us. He's just trying to make us join his religion. No. You're asking me to present solutions to a problem. I'm going to present to you all the solutions to that problem. All of them. Regardless of what you think, regardless of what you may feel about it or what I feel about it, even if I wasn't a Muslim. But alhamdulillah, I know the benefits of reading the Quran. Now, people are going to say, well, okay, Daki, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not a religious person. First of all, this is not an argument. Why is that? Because I am not a religious person myself. Now, this may be surprising. People are going to say, oh, what do you mean you're not religious? You're a Muslim. Yes, I am. But I never consider myself Muslim. Never. I never consider myself religious. Sorry to say that. I correct myself. I never consider myself religious. And I was never a religious person in the first place either. And I'm still not, to be really honest with you, even though I'm a Muslim. And this is something that some people may get confused by when I say this, when I say that I'm not religious, even though that I'm a Muslim. People are going to think that I'm contradicting myself. And it may sound like it, but trust me, if you read the Quran, you will understand what I mean by this. It's really difficult to say by word why I say that I'm not a religious person, but people will understand. For the people that are not religious and then read the Quran, they will understand. They will understand. Read the Quran in your native language, right? For whatever language that it is, get the translation of it. And for those that speak English, I recommend the version of The Clear Quran by Dr. Khalid, or something like this. Muftafa or Mutaf, or something like this, Khalid. I got the name completely wrong, but I recommend this version for those that speak English. It's very cheap as well. It's not like it's expensive. And you can read it online for free. So, but this is a point that I wanted to make. That I wanted to make very... And the second point that I wanted to make is... What was it actually? I'm thinking. I need to look at my notes. What was it? The second point that I was trying to say was... let me think, wait. Oh, yes. So people are going to say, oh, but I'm not religious. Okay, well, that's not an excuse, because I'm not a religious person and I've read the Quran. Number two, people are going to say, oh, I don't like reading books. Guess what? I hate reading books, but I read the Quran every single day. I've never been a book person, and I'm still not a book person. Even though you can see dictionaries on my desk, you might think that I'm the type of guy that just reads dictionary for fun, which I do, but I hate it. I know now people are going to get confused and say, what? You do it, but you hate it? Yes. There are things that we do as humans for our benefit, but we hate it. But we do it because we know it is for our benefit. It's going to benefit us physically, mentally. I read the dictionary every day, not because I feel like it, not because I love it. I would much rather be like those hoodlums and those little boys on the streets, just having fun and going to parties, dancing in the club and the music, and just, doing, anything and everything, and just liberating yourself and eating every single donut and ice cream and fries and pizza and all the junk food that exists in the world. Of course I want to do that. I'm not an insane person. I'm human. I'm just like you. But the difference is between me and somebody else that is not disciplined, that doesn't understand the benefit of certain things, is that I do certain things not because I like it, but because I know it will benefit me. And this is how you should approach it as well. And this is how you should approach most of the things in your life, which is doing a certain action for the sake of benefiting from it. Not because you like it, not because you necessarily enjoy it, but because it benefits you in a great way. So reading the Quran daily benefits me. That's the reason why I do it. So not because I like reading books. I hate reading books. I absolutely hate reading books. But guess what? When I read the Quran, it doesn't even feel like reading a book. It doesn't even feel like it. Because it gives me so much knowledge. It reminds me of the purpose of this life. That it soothes my heart. And it's going to soothe your heart as well. It's going to clear your mind. It's going to make you understand what is wrong, what is right, what you should be doing, how you should be acting, and you will overall be a better man, a better woman, a better mother, a better friend, a better father, a better son, a better daughter, a better friend. You will be a better neighbor even. So reading the Quran is the last and final resort It's the last and final resort. I'm putting this very clearly. It is the last one. Of course, for those of you that are really curious and that do like reading books, you can jump straight to it. And I know that a lot of people are going to say, oh, I'm not really interested in reading religious texts. It's not my type of vibe. I'm not this type of person that likes reading religious texts. I get you. But once you read it, it won't feel like it. I guarantee you. It won't feel like it at all. Because even when I approached it, I always thought that it was going to be really boring in a religious type of way. But once you start reading it, it's much more like a story that is super enjoyable to read. But not only that, there's extreme wisdom, concrete and fluid wisdom that you will learn and acquire while reading it. And so this is the most amazing thing, the most amazing book that you can ever read. The most amazing one. And that's the only book that you will ever need in terms of peace of mind, in terms of cleaning all of the addictions that you have, not just watching porn and masturbating. So, and this is a guarantee. If you do all of these 10 steps, and again, I'm just going to put it back again just so that you can see it. Wait a second. Oh God. 2, 3, 4, 5. Voila. Okay. Took a long time, but this is something that you should screenshot. Screenshot this and then follow all of these 10 points. All of these. The 10th is the last one, the last resort. If you've done 1 to 9, all the 9 points, and it doesn't work, the 10th will be the cherry on top that will make it work. I guarantee you. Again, if it doesn't work, get to my email, or message me on X, on my X account at dakirequest, or at my email that I will say here, or that you can find in the description at dakirequest@gmail.com. So you can message me there, and if I have time, I will respond to you. Hopefully, I will respond to all of you. Yeah. So, going back, just making sure you see me. It's a very difficult addiction to get rid of, indeed. Not because the addiction itself is heavy or how do you say this? Or hard to get rid in itself. It is hard to get rid of because of the solutions that you need to implement. The solutions that you need to implement to tackle and to reduce, or not only just reduce, but to get rid of this addiction is hard to implement. Because in today's age, so many things, so many tools around us has made us sit in a comfortable place in our house, in our room, to be able to enjoy many things. And some of these things are bad, like masturbating and watching porn. So one of these things, or I would say one of these solutions, may not be enough. So that's the reason why I gave 10 solutions. And those are actually the only solutions that I've came up with. And I've thought this throughout. It didn't take me one night to be able to come up with all those solutions. It took me, actually for this list, it took me months to come up with those concrete details through research, personal experience, people that I've talked to, other people that are more knowledgeable in this field than I am. And so this is something that will work for 100%, guaranteed. If it doesn't work, please, please, please message me privately and I will help you privately. But even then, it will not happen. This will not happen. I already know it. Because if you truly implement all of these correctly, there's no way you cannot get rid of your addiction within a few weeks. Within a few weeks. And just to clarify also, for the 10th point, which is reading the Quran, you have to have an open heart. When you read it, you have to have the intention of genuinely understanding the Quran. And this is something that's going to obviously take more time. It's not something that's going to be able to be done in a matter of a few days. Obviously not. But in a matter of a few weeks, or maximum a few months, if you're slow, very, very slow reader, then yeah. But it will be worth it. Those, even if you're a slow reader and you read, let's say 2 pages a month, 2 pages a day, just 2 pages. Even then, you know what? The benefit, the extra benefits that you will get from reading the Quran will be so vast, so immense to your life outside of just this issue of addiction on masturbation and watching porn, that you will realize that you should have read the Quran in the first place before even having this addiction. Even if you didn't have this addiction, you would realize that you should have read this book earlier. Because it is not only a cure to masturbation and watching porn, but it is a cure to every single issue that you might have in life. And this is the truth indeed. So please, if you have any questions, like I said, you can message me on X if you have a verified account, because again, if I put my message inbox to everyone, I will be drowned with messages and I won't be able to keep up. And so there's no point. So only the people that are verified on X can message me. I'm sorry, but that's how it is. I want to minimize the messages that I get because there's no point, right? And if you don't have a verified X account, it's fine. You can message me per email, and yeah, hopefully I'll be able to answer your question. And because of that, obviously, I spend more time on X usually. I mean, I don't spend that much time, but I go for maybe 1 hour per day just to see the messages. I will prioritize the people that do message me on X. So if you want an answer earlier, you can message me on X with a verified account, making sure that you get basically a premium account on X and you'll be verified. And yeah, just send me a message, whatever question that you have, or even any mistakes that I've made throughout this lecture that you might have noticed. Again, I'm not the type of guy that is sitting here saying, oh, I'm this guy that knows everything. No, I'm actually the opposite. I'm a guy that knows very little. I try my best every single day to learn, to research like anybody. And I'm only a student of knowledge. I am only a beginner, a very, very beginner. I mean, at least that's how I consider myself in this field when it comes to human psychology and health. But every day I try my best for the people that are listening. So I hope that this was a good presentation for not only you, but for I mean, yeah, for you, because I'm not doing this for anybody else. But I hope that it was clear enough, that I've given enough details about most of the things that I should have talked about. And let me just look at the things. If I missed anything. Oh, and by the way, in the future, hopefully during the live, at the end of the presentations that I do, hopefully there will be a section. If there is a lot of people that do watch this lecture, I will do a section where it is a donation question section. So at the end of the stream, I can answer your question on stream live by you sending me a question. But again, there's no point in today because I don't have time for today. So, but inshallah, hopefully we will be able to do it. Let me just check the last few points that I've talked about. I've talked about this. This is fine. You see the punishment, not treat and respect themselves. Okay, I do want to just add this in when it comes to the sex work, the women that do sex work. A lot of these women, and again, that are currently doing sex work, would actually argue against me, and I've received messages on this, that are arguing against me and saying, oh, you don't understand, like you're just hating on us, like you don't understand, like we're doing this to make money, we're happy to do our job, like we're not miserable, like you're nobody to talk about this, you're a man, you're just jealous. Listen, darling. And I don't want to call you darling because it's weird, but my stance is that actually I'm not degrading you. I'm not saying that you're not good enough. I'm not saying that you're less of a woman because you do sex work. I'm actually arguing that you as a woman are not valuing yourself enough by doing sex work, and that you are underestimating your true value as a woman by doing sex work, by deciding to get into sex work. By making that decision, you are completely not understanding your real value as a woman and how precious you actually are, how smart you actually are and can be. And so by going into this kind of field, it is something that you shouldn't do because it is under you. It is so under you that it shouldn't be done. That it shouldn't even be a thought in your head as a woman. You shouldn't even think of it as a possibility. When somebody mentions, oh, you should be a porn actress. Oh, you should be a stripper. This idea should not even be accepted or even cross your mind for a single second. No matter how hard it is financially, no matter how hard it is to raise your children as a single mother, I understand. But look at the bigger picture, and you need to weigh in the benefits and the cons. And again, I'm being fair when I give this statement. You need to see, of course, the benefits of doing a certain action, and you need to look at the harms of it. And I've given to you the benefits and the harms. You've seen it. So is it worth it? And again, this is a question that you can ask yourself, and whatever answer comes to your mind, of course, is going to reflect your decision that you're going to make, whether you're going to do sex work or you're not going to do sex work. However, if you are being rational, and let's be honest here, it's just me and you here. Let's be honest. If you're being rational, if you're being honest truly to yourself, and you look at the benefits and you look at the cons of it, of doing sex work, you will immediately know that it is not an option and that it should never be considered an option because of how much harm it brings you in the short term, in the long term, physically, psychologically, to you, to the people around you, to your family, to your future kids, to your future husband, to everyone, including yourself. So why would you do it? But some people, they still do it because, not because they're stupid. I don't believe that. Women are very, very smart, extremely smart. I would say the most women are smarter than most men. I'll say this. But the issue is when it comes to listening to their desires, their emotions, and listening to rational thinking. A lot of women will go towards emotion, will go towards their desires, and neglect their logical thinking. It's not that they don't have logical thinking. No, they do. Everything that I've said today, most of it, when it comes to the pros and cons of doing sex work, is not anything new. It's not, oh, I never knew this. No, this is something that we all know. But I have to clarify it so that people can actually really take time to think in a rational way, in an intellectual way, instead of leaning towards their desires and their emotions. That's all that I've done. I'm not a genius. I'm not. I'm just a guy that is giving you and presenting to you in a rational way, in an organized way, the pros and cons of doing sex work. That's it. So you need to realize, and that's one of the issues for women that do sex work, you need to realize that you are actually very, very much undervaluing yourself. Extremely. You need to raise up. You need to raise up your status of yourself. Of course, there are always going to be some women that are overconfident, but I'm going to be honest. Most women are not confident enough. I'll say this. A lot of guys are going to disagree with this, especially in America. They're going to say, no, what do you mean? Oh, the women, they're too confident. They think that they can do anything, that they have right over every human being. With feminism and all this. Look, calm down. I understand. There are women that are extremely overconfident. I agree with you. But this is not the correct way to address this issue that we're talking about here. The issue that we're talking about here is mainly about women that are not confident enough. So this is to you as a woman listening. You are not confident enough, and you need to boost up your confidence. You need to boost up your selfishness. Yes, indeed. You need to boost up your arrogance. Indeed, yes. I know you may be the type of woman that is kind, that is very shy, that is not really arrogant. No, I don't care. This is to your own benefit, because if you don't do it, you're destroying yourself. So I want you to force yourself to be more arrogant and to be more selfish and to focus more on yourself and start saying no to people. Oh, can you come to this party and help me do this? No. Oh, can you come and do this for me? Like, look, I want to do. No. Just say no. And again, of course, this is temporary, just so that you can fix yourself and and set a standard for yourself mentally and visualize this standard for a good amount of time so that you can know at what level you should be when it comes to your arrogance and your selfishness as a woman, and where you should be and how you should feel about yourself as a woman, actually, and how you should see yourself, actually. Instead of lowering yourself constantly, thinking that you don't deserve to live, that you don't deserve to have a family, you don't deserve to have kids, you don't deserve to have a man to take care of you, you don't deserve to have a happy life, you don't deserve to have this, you don't deserve to have anything, you don't even deserve to have a life, and that you should just be miserable by yourself, and that's the best thing for you, to stay away from other people, and to just end your life. No, it's not. That is Shaitan talking to you. I don't care whether you believe in God or not. That is Shaitan talking to you. That is the devil talking to you. I don't care that you're not religious. The devil is talking to you. The devil whispers. Oh, yes, he does. So this is something that you need to fix when it comes to understanding your value as a woman. The importance of it is huge. There's a big importance when it comes to understanding your value as a woman. So anyway, I've spoken for too long. I need to go and eat and do some things. My lips, if you see them a little bit dry or crackled, please, I haven't drank any water, until, just previously. But please don't have some mercy on me when it comes to me stuttering or having a dry throat, because I am fasting. But now I can go and eat. And I can't wait to go and eat my donuts. Actually, I don't have any donuts in my fridge, but maybe tomorrow, maybe after tomorrow, we'll see. But thank you very much for listening, and I will see you next Wednesday. Hopefully, inshallah.
ويطوف عليهم ولدان مخلدون إذا رأيتهم حسبتهم لؤلؤا منثورا وإذا رأيت ثم رأيت نعيما وملكا كبيرا عاليهم ثياب سندس خضر واستبرق وحلوا أساور من فضة وسقاهم ربهم شرابا